Welcome to all. Long before cities and lights, people gathered just like this, to listen, to learn, and to feel. Now, you can do the same, through English listening practice that tells stories worth remembering. Tonight we speak about a strange kind of pain. Not the pain of a broken arm, not the pain of a loud insult. It is the quiet, slow pain of feeling invisible. The feeling that life walks past you like you are a ghost. You try, but nobody claps. You speak, but nobody listens. You dream, but people look at you like your dream is a bad joke. Maybe you know this feeling very well. Maybe you wake up and already feel tired, not in your body, but deep in your chest. You look at your phone, and there is nothing new. Just old messages and silent apps. You go to work, or to class, or to the gym, and it feels like you are a background character in someone else's movie. If you know this feeling, this story is for you. Tonight, you will learn how to grow in silence when nobody believes in you. You will learn how to build real strength when the world gives you no support. You will also improve your English, because every idea comes in simple words that carry deep meaning. So stay with me. Listen with your ears, but also with your heart, because when life ignores you, it is not always a curse. Sometimes it is the strange gift that starts your real life. Let me tell you something important. When the world becomes quiet around you, your inner voice becomes louder. When people stop cheering for you, you get a chance to cheer for yourself. At first this sounds good, but in real life it is hard. When nobody believes in you, your mind often turns against you. It starts to speak like a cruel stranger. It says things like you are not good enough, you are boring, you are weak, you will never make it. These words hurt more than any insult from outside, because they come with your own voice. They feel like the truth, but they are not the truth. They are old echoes. Echoes of every time someone laughed at you, or ignored you, or compared you to someone else. Those people are gone, but the echo stays in your mind. So the first step is simple to say and hard to do. You must learn to hear the echo and not worship it like the truth. To understand this better, listen to a story. There was a man named Lennox, not a famous name, not a rich family. He lived in a small apartment at the edge of a large city. The walls were thin. At night he could hear a couple fighting upstairs, a baby crying next door, a TV shouting some cheap show in another room. In that noisy building, Lennox was a quiet man. At school, he was the boy in the last row. He helped other students with homework, but they forgot his birthday. At work he stayed late, finished tasks for others, and then watched their names on the report. He was not stupid. He was not lazy. He was simply invisible to most people. But inside his head he carried a secret world. Lennox loved images and short phrases. He loved drawing scenes from real life and writing simple lines that cut deep. He wanted to become a kind of graphic storyteller, a man who shows life with pictures and small sentences that hit the heart. One evening, he finally told his family about this dream. His uncle laughed and said, "The world has enough pictures, boy. We need real work, not your scribbles." His older cousin rolled her eyes and said, "Wake up. You are not some genius. Just work and pay your bills." Even his friend, a guy named Torin, smirked and said, "You, an artist? Come on, you are background staff." The words hit Lennox like cold water in winter. He smiled on the outside, but inside something shook. That night he walked home under a gray sky. The streetlights looked weak, like even they were tired of shining. His phone was silent. No messages, no calls. When he opened the door, the apartment felt even smaller than usual. He sat on his old bed, took his sketchbook in his hands, and felt a heavy stone in his chest. His mind started talking. Maybe they are right. Maybe I am not special. Maybe this dream is stupid. Maybe I should just forget it. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. In that moment, his life stood at a secret crossroad. One path was easy to see. On that path, he would close the sketchbook, throw it into a drawer, and never touch it again. He would tell jokes about his own dream before others could. He would live safe and small. The other path was darker, quieter, and lonely. On that path, he would walk without applause. He would draw without likes. He would create without anyone saying, "Good job." It was the path of silent growth. That night, Lennox did something small that changed everything. He took his phone, opened the camera, and recorded a short video message to himself. He looked into his own tired eyes and said, "Nobody believes in this right now, but I do. I will draw one page every day, even if nobody sees it. I will grow in silence." Then he saved the video, closed the phone, and put it face down on the table. This was his first promise to himself. And here comes the first big truth of this night. The first believer must be you. Many people wait for a sign. They say, "When my friends support me, I will start. When my family understands me, I will act. When life sends me a clear signal, I will move." But life is often quiet. Sometimes life is testing you with silence. It whispers, "Will you move even when nobody claps? Will you respect your dream when others do not?" If the answer is no, if you only move when people watch you, then your life is always in their hands. Remember this simple line: when your dream depends on their applause, you are not free. For the next 6 months, Lennox kept his promise. Every night after work, he made a cheap cup of tea, sat by a weak lamp, and drew one page. Just one. Some pages were powerful. Some pages were ugly. Some nights he felt like a future master. Some nights he felt like a joke. But the rules stayed the same. One page. Every day. No matter what. He did not post his work on social media every evening. He did not ask, "Please like, please share, please comment." He understood something deep, even if he did not have fancy words for it. Real growth is often slow and invisible. A tree does not shout when it grows roots. It just grows in the dark. While Lennox drew, his friends lived a different life. They went to parties, posted bright pictures, tagged each other, wrote jokes, used loud music. Their phones were full of notifications, laughs, comments, hearts. Often, Lennox was not in those photos. When he scrolled through their stories, he felt like the only quiet person in a world of noise. Sometimes that old stone came back into his chest. The thought, "They live. I am just sitting here alone, with my cheap tea and my pencil." In those moments, he checked the little video on his phone. He watched his own eyes as he said, "I will grow in silence." And he returned to his page. Now think about your life. How many times did you stop doing something good because nobody was watching you? How many times did you stop a new habit because it did not bring fast results? How many times did you feel invisible and say to yourself, "It does not matter. Why should I try?" We all do this, and it is human, but it is also dangerous, because this is how real power dies. Not with big drama, not with fire and noise. It dies slowly, in small moments of quiet surrender. So what is the solution? How do you grow when life ignores you? How do you keep walking on a road that has no flowers, no sign, and maybe no company for a long time? The solution tonight is something simple and strong. Call it the silent garden rule. Your inner life is like a garden inside you. You cannot see all the roots, but they are there, deep under the ground. They drink water. They push in silence. If you wait for people to clap for every small root, your garden will stay dry. So here is what you do. Step 1. Choose one activity that makes you stronger or more alive. It can be drawing, like Lennox. It can be learning English, like you are doing now. It can be exercising your body, building a business idea, practicing a musical instrument, or even learning to sit quietly and breathe with awareness. Step 2. Turn that activity into a tiny daily action. Not big, not heroic. Just small and clear. 10 new English sentences that you read and repeat aloud. 1 page of a story. 10 minutes of focused exercise. 15 minutes of deep study. 1 honest page in your diary. Step 3. Do this activity every day for yourself, not for the crowd. You do not need to post it. You do not need to tell anyone. Careers. Let it be your silent work, your secret training ground. Step 4. Once a week, sit down and look back. Check your notebook, your body, your skills, your feelings. Do not judge with hate. Do not say, "It is still nothing. I am far from my goal." Instead say, "I am growing," even if the world does not see it yet. When you think this way, you water your inner garden. It sounds simple, but it is a real discipline. Back to Lennox. After 1 year, he had 3 full sketchbooks. When he opened them, something new appeared in his chest. It was not the hot excitement of quick attention. It was a calm, warm feeling. Respect, not from others. This is what people often call self-respect or inner respect. Self-respect means you know your value inside, even when nobody claps outside. It means that when you look in the mirror, you see someone who keeps promises, even small ones. One day, during lunch at work, a woman named Mira noticed Lennox drawing at the corner of the break room. She was not a loud woman. She had quiet eyes that seemed to see more than other people. She asked, "You draw every day, right?" Lennox felt shy, but he nodded. She asked to see his sketchbook. He hesitated, but something in her voice felt respectful, not mocking. He gave it to her. As she turned the pages, she stopped talking. Her face became serious. She was not smiling like at a meme. She was looking as if she saw a real person for the first time. After a while, she said, "These stories are strong. Simple, but strong. Why do you hide them?" Lennox answered, "Because I thought nobody would care." Mira looked at him and said, "The crowd may not care, but that does not mean your work has no power. Sometimes the crowd is just blind." She told him about a small online magazine that liked honest art from unknown people. She suggested he send 1 story. The idea scared him. His heart started to race. His hands felt heavy. But that night he chose 1 story, scanned it, and wrote a short email. His finger shook when he pressed send. Then silence again. Days passed. Weeks passed. No answer. The echo in his head came back with more power. "You see, you are nothing. You should stop. They are just being polite when they say it is good." But this time, Lennox did something new. Instead of believing every negative thought, he watched them like cars on a road. He said quietly, "These are just old voices. They are not the truth." Then he made his cheap tea, sat under his weak lamp, and drew his 1 page. He kept the silent garden rule. One evening, when he almost forgot about the email, he opened his inbox and saw a message from the magazine. His chest tightened. He clicked. The text said, "Your story hit us in a real way. It is simple but honest. We want to publish it. We cannot pay much, but we would like your name in our next issue." For a long moment he did not move. He just stared at the screen. Something warm rose up from his stomach to his eyes. He did not scream. He did not post, "Finally, I made it." He just breathed, slow and deep, and smiled to himself. Here is the key point. The magazine did not give him value. He already had value. He already had 3 sketchbooks, full of silent work. The magazine simply turned on a light. so other people could see a small part of the garden he had grown in the dark. Remember this line: you are not empty just because nobody sees your value. You are not weak just because nobody claps when you win small inner battles. The world is often slow to notice quiet strength. Weak people need constant noise and fast attention. Strong people can grow in silence and let their work speak later. Now look at your own life again. How many dreams did you bury because nobody believed in them? How many times did you make a joke about your own ideas just to kill the pain before others could laugh? How many nights did you scroll on your phone, watching other people live, while your own life waited quietly in the corner? This is not to make you feel shame. Shame is heavy and does not help. This is to wake you up, to help you see that your invisible time does not have to be empty time. It can be training time. It can be the season where you build the version of yourself that will later surprise everyone, including you. There are two types of people when life ignores them. The first type says, "Nobody sees me, so I am nothing." They stop trying. They cut their own wings. The second type says, "Nobody sees me now, so this is my secret gym." They start training their mind, their skills, their heart. One day, people call them lucky or gifted or overnight success. But those people do not see the silent years. Which type do you want to be? Now let us go deeper. When life ignores you, something dangerous can happen inside. You can start to ignore yourself too. You stop asking, "What do I want?" You only ask, "What do they want from me?" You stop listening to your own feelings, and you only listen to fear and to the loudest voices around you. This is how a strong person slowly becomes a ghost in their own life. So how do we stop this? How do we protect our inner life when the outside world gives us nothing? First, we must understand one simple idea. Your mind is like a car. If you give the wheel to other people, they will drive you where they want, not where you want. When you need their approval for every step, you are not driving anymore. You sit in the back seat and hope they do not crash. Taking back the wheel does not mean you never listen to anyone. It means you stay the driver. You use advice as information, not as chains. You listen, but you decide. When nobody believes in you, it is actually easier to take back the wheel because nobody is watching your every move. You are free to make quiet changes. You are free to build new habits, new skills, even a new identity, away from the public eye. That is the secret power of being ignored. The crowd is looking somewhere else. You can rebuild yourself in peace. Imagine two fighters. One trains in a big stadium with cameras and a loud crowd. Every wrong move becomes a meme. Every mistake is recorded and shared. The other trains in an old empty gym at night. No cameras, no fans, just sweat, silence, and focus. Who will feel more free to try new things, to fail, to get back up 100 times? The second one, being unseen, can be a gift if you use it as a training ground and not as a grave. Now, back to you. Maybe you say, "This sounds good, but I feel heavy. My past is full of shame. I made stupid choices. I wasted time. I hurt people. I hurt myself. I failed so many times that my own name feels like a bad brand." Listen, shame wants you to believe that your story is already over. But your story is not a short post. It is a long book. One dirty page does not kill a whole book. One bad chapter does not erase the possibility of a strong ending. Your past can become your personal coach, not your prison. When you think about your old mistakes, do not use them as knives to cut yourself. Use them as lessons to guide yourself. Ask, what did this teach me? What warning did life give me here? How can I use this pain so I do not repeat it? This is not soft talk. This is hard work. It means sitting with your own story without running away, It means saying, yes, I did this, and it hurt me or others. But I will not waste the pain. I will grow from it. Let us return to Lennox for a moment. When his story was first published in that small magazine, a few people wrote comments under it. Not thousands, just a few. One person wrote, "This picture looks like my life." Another wrote, "I felt invisible for years. This made me cry in a good way." Lennox read those lines slowly. For the first time in a long time, he felt like his pain was not useless. The nights of drawing alone, the feeling of being ignored, the jokes about his dream, all of that had turned into something that could touch another human being. In that moment, he understood another quiet truth. Your pain becomes powerful when you use it to help someone else. Until then, it is just a heavy stone. When you turn your pain into a story, a song, a lesson, a service, you turn the stone into a tool. You can build with it. You can climb with it. You can cut chains with it. Now think about your own pain. Maybe you grew up in a house where nobody listened. Maybe teachers told you that you would never be successful. Maybe your first love treated your heart like a toy. Maybe your family still laughs every time you talk about your ideas. All of this hurts, and it is not fair. But you can do something they do not expect. You can turn all that into fuel. Not the hot fuel of revenge, where you scream, "I will show them." That flame dies fast and burns you too. Use the calm fuel of self-respect. Say to yourself, "They did not see my value, but I will not continue their work by destroying myself. I will build myself." Slowly, you may ask, how do I start when my energy is low? Here is where we need something very practical. A simple, clear tool that you can use even when you feel tired and ignored. Earlier, we spoke about the silent garden rule. Now it is time for another tool. Call it the 1 quiet hour. The idea is very simple, but if you use it, it can change your days. Here's how it works. Once a day or a few times a week, if your life is very busy, choose 1 hour that belongs only to you, not to your boss, not to your friends, not to your social media feed, to you. In this hour, you do one thing, just one, that builds your future self. Before the hour begins, put your phone on silent and out of reach. Close any apps or tabs that call for your attention. Tell yourself, for the next 60 minutes, I am not food for other people's eyes. I am a builder of my own life. Then choose your tool. It can be a notebook, a book in English, a musical instrument, a laptop for focused learning, a mat for exercise, anything that helps you grow. During the hour, you do only that. You do not multitask. You do not check notifications. You do not chase quick pleasure. You are fully with your work. Your mind will fight you at first. It will whisper, "This is boring. Check your messages. Look at something funny." It will say, "This is pointless. Nobody cares if you do this or not." When this happens, do not shout at your mind. Do not call yourself weak. Just answer calmly, "I care. This is my 1 quiet hour. This is my training." Then return to your work. If you repeat this 1 quiet hour enough times, something begins to shift. The noise in your head becomes a little softer. You feel a little more solid. You begin to trust yourself. You know that even if the world ignores you today, you still have this hour where you are not ignored by the most important person in your life, yourself. This is the hour where you look at yourself and say, through action, you matter. Your future matters. Your growth matters. Now let us use a simple before and after picture to make this even more clear. Before learning this way of life, person feels invisible and powerless. When life ignores them, they become even more passive. They wake up, scroll on their phone, eat, go to work or school, do the minimum to survive, come home, scroll again, sleep. They do not give themselves even 1 quiet hour. Result, their days all look the same. Their self-trust slowly dies. They feel more and more bitter. They think the problem is the world. But part of the problem is that they abandoned themselves. After learning this way of life, person B still feels ignored sometimes, but they act differently. They also wake up, maybe feel the same weight. But at some point in the day they say, "This next hour is mine." They turn off the noise and build something. Some days it is learning English. Some days it is body training. Some days it is writing. Some days it is planning. The results are not loud at first, but after weeks and months, person B stands differently. Their eyes are more steady. They know something person A does not know. They know they can count on themselves. The difference between person A and person B is not magic talent. It is the decision to give themselves that one quiet hour and to protect it like a treasure. You can be person B, not next year, maybe with just 30 minutes at first. The point is not the length. The point is the habit and the respect. Now we must talk about another enemy that lives inside silence. This enemy is comparison. When nobody pays attention to you, it is easy to look at others who get attention and think, they are better, they are smarter, they are beautiful, they are strong. I am nothing. But comparison is a thief. It steals your joy and gives you nothing. It does not pay your bills. It does not build your skills. It does not train your heart. It only eats your energy. You do not see their silent struggles. You see only their bright moments. You see their show, not their training. So here is a very simple rule. When you catch yourself comparing, use it as a signal to come back to your own path. If you think, their English is so good, I am stupid. Stop and say, I will use this moment to study one short English video fully. If you think, they are in great shape and I am ugly, stop and do a small workout right now, even 10 minutes. If you think, they are successful and I am nothing, stop and spend 20 minutes working on your next step. Comparison becomes less poison and more fuel when you connect it to action. Each time you feel lower, you move. You use the sting as energy to do one small thing that makes you stronger. Now let us look at the idea of identity. Who are you when nobody sees you? Many people say, I am the ignored one, the unlucky one, the background person. They use this like a tattoo. The more they repeat it, the more they live like it. But identity is not fixed. It can be rewritten. Little by little, let us build a new one for you. The old you reacts like this. When life ignores you, you say, see, I knew it. I am nothing. You spend the night inside your head, repeating old insults. You do not move. You drown in heavy thoughts. The new you responds like this. When life ignores you, you say, okay, this is my training season. You still feel pain. You still have doubts. But you move anyway. You speak to yourself with more respect. You say, I am quiet, but I am not weak. I am unseen, but I am not empty. I am in the dark, but I am growing roots. To become this new you, you need repetition. So let us practice with simple lines that you can repeat in your own voice. When you feel ignored, you can say, I am not finished yet. When you feel unseen, you can say, my work still matters. When you feel that nobody believes in you, you can say, I do not need a crowd to start. These are not magic spells, but they are like small lights on the wall of a dark tunnel. They help you keep your direction when your emotions try to blind you. And if you say them in English, you train your language and your character at the same time. Now we will return one last time to Lennox, but not to praise him like a hero, only to show the next steps. After his first story was published, he did not suddenly become famous. The world did not suddenly start to respect him. Most people in his life did not even know about that small magazine. The building was still loud. The lamp was still weak. The tea was still cheap. But something inside him had changed. He now had proof that his silent work had value, not just to him, but to someone out there. He printed the magazine page and put it on his wall, not to impress visitors, but to remember that his effort was not a joke. Over the next years, he kept the same basic rule. 1 page a day, 1 quiet hour for his craft. He improved his English to tell better stories for a wider audience. He made mistakes, drew bad scenes, wrote lines that made him cringe later, but he did not stop. Slowly, more people found his work. A blog shared one of his stories. A teacher used 1 page in a class. A small brand asked him to draw a simple campaign with deep emotion and simple language. His income grew a bit, but something more important grew much more. His self-trust. He knew that even if all the projects disappeared, he still had the skill to sit alone with a pencil and his mind and create something real. That is real power. Not the number of followers, not the size of the stage, but the ability to create value from your own silence. Now, let us come back to you right here, right now. You are listening to this in English. That alone already says something about you. It says you are willing to stretch your mind. You are willing to be uncomfortable to grow. You are doing listening practice while also feeding your heart. That is not nothing. So here is what you will do after this. First, take 10 minutes and write a short note in English that begins with, "When life ignores me, I will," and then you finish the sentence with your own promise. Maybe you write, "I will still study. I will still train. I will still create. I will still respect myself." Keep this note where you can see it, or make it the background of your phone. Second, choose your 1 quiet hour for today or tomorrow. If you cannot make an hour, choose 30 minutes. Mark it like an important meeting with yourself. When the time comes, protect it. Work on one thing that makes you stronger. Third, every time you feel invisible in the next week, use that feeling as a trigger. Instead of thinking, "I am nothing," ask, "What can I build right now?" Then do 1 small action. Read a page. Write a paragraph. Do a set of push-ups. Learn a new phrase. Prove to yourself that you are not just a victim of silence. You are a worker inside silence. And finally, speak to yourself not like an enemy, but like a strong older friend. You do not need sweet lies. You need calm, honest support. So say, yes, this is a hard season, but you are not weak. You are training. You are building a life that does not depend on the mood of the crowd. As we come to the end of this story, remember the 3 main ideas. 1. When life ignores you, it can become your secret training ground. Wow. 2. Small daily actions in silence build more real power than loud, random moves in front of a crowd. 3. Your value does not start when people notice you. It starts when you notice yourself and act with respect for your own future. You are not just someone who reacts to the world. You are someone who can respond with wisdom. You are not just someone who waits for a chance. You are someone who creates small chances every day with your effort. You are not the background character in your life. You are the quiet main character, still in an early chapter. Thank you for staying with this story until the end. You did more than train your English. You trained your patience. You trained your focus. You trained the quiet strength inside you. If you want more stories like this, stories that respect your pain and speak to your real power, then stay close. Hit that subscribe button like you are shaking hands with your future self. Join this quiet tribe of people who grow even when nobody believes in them. Take care of your mind. Protect your 1 quiet hour. Grow your silent garden. And remember this line when the world feels cold. When life ignores you, it is not always rejection. Sometimes it is just room for you to rise.